the military from the police. I think that they were getting back to the Ahli Ultras supporters, because one day Ahli, I'm not going to name them Ahli supporters, they're Egyptian, young Egyptians, just like all of us. They went down to protest with the rest of the Egyptians, just like any other Egyptians. But because they were labeled as ultras or labeled or whatever, of course it was easier for the government to identify who they are. I think the government are just, teaching them a hard lesson, because, you know what, you came down, you protested against us, well, we're going to get back to you in a different way. This is my personal opinion.
Well, Captain Diaa Salah, I see that you are mixing the police and army all the time. Is that in purpose, or?
No, it's because I was never into politics, or never into the whole political scene. When I say the military or the police, I mean...
They are not the same. And that's what I want to explain you. And I'm sure that our audience understand that too. Military is something way different than the police.
Yes, I mean the
Even
police.
that they are both together are protecting the country.
Yes.
Internally is the police, externally are the army.
I mean the police.
But now, since the army is involved inside the country since the revolution, I think that's why you have this mix.
Yes,
but I want to declare that to our audience that we're talking about the police.
The police.
So whether this or that, they are all Egyptians. They are all trying to keep the country in a good way. But the matter of fact, what happened is a crisis.
Yes.
With all means. Tell me something about the FIFA management course that you're taking. Did you study crisis during that? And what kind of crisis did you study?
Well, actually, basically, when we go back to the curriculum that we studied, there is a very important part about crisis management and crowd management, event management. We had an instructor in one of our semesters. His name is Rory Stein, and he used to be the personal person responsible for the protection of Nelson Mandela, the previous South African president. He had experienced almost 30 years in security, in the army, in bomb squadding, and after he retired, he went into his own business and he opened a security company, mainly which is responsible for securing events, crowd management, and crisis management. He gave us a lot of case studies to work on. He is coming back again in March, by the way, for the new FIFA diploma class that's happening in March, and I would like to invite you and anybody who would like to come down, either from officials, government officials, come down and attend these classes is more than welcome. Mainly Rory has, like I said, gave us a lot of case studies, and he sort of taught us what is the difference between a stampede and a riot. If we look at the top 10 tragedies in football over the ages, we're going to find that Egypt now, the tragedy that happened in Portsaid, is placed number 4. Out of these top 10 tragedies, there's about 1,000 people that have died and in results of tragedies. Now, what is the difference between a stampede and a riot? A stampede happens that there are some tragedies that happen due to crowd chaos. The stadiums are either not equipped to hold large amount of crowd, the gates are too small, or whatever. Riots happens because of interactions between supporters, and this is where supporters start attacking each other, either because they're either too close to each other, or there's not enough barriers between them. Mm-hmm. So we've learned what is the difference between those two causes of tragedies. Now, one of the big tragedies that we all probably talk about is the Heysel disaster that happened in Belgium. In 1985, and it was in the European Cup between Liverpool and Juventus. This is one of the tragedies that is more related to us because there's a part of the police got involved in such an incident, and they were blamed for not being able to protect the event in a proper way. And at the end, after an 18-month investigation, which was a long time, the Belgium security officials were